Welcome to the 2020 Victorian Museums and Galleries Awards. My name is Cal Wilson, I'm your host this afternoon and I'm very delighted to be here with you. I'd like to start by respectfully acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we're filming today, the Boonwurrung and the Woiwurrung peoples, and honour their ancestors, elders and next generations of community. And knowing that we have attendees from right across Victoria, I'd also like to extend this acknowledgement to the elders and of all the nations of Victoria, past, present and emerging. I am very excited to be here today, nearly with you. It's been a challenging year for everybody, for your sector and for mine. I know that Lockdown 1 and Lockdown 2 have been very different for Melbourne. Lockdown 1 was sort of artisan sourdough bread and running up little outfits on the sewing machine, and Lockdown 2 was more just sitting on the floor, eating freezer burnt bread, cutting a neck hole in a doona cover and wearing that. There are things that I will miss about lockdown, I have to be honest. I quite enjoy wearing a mask because I'm getting more passive aggressive as I get older, and I do love to mutter. I really enjoy muttering, and what I love about wearing a mask is that I can be openly hostile to someone in a supermarket. I can say something like, "That's not 1.5 meters," and as long as I make my eyes look surprised, I can pretend it wasn't me. You make your own fun. So today we won't be able to hear the applause coming from you, but I would like you to show your support for your colleagues and friends via the comment function. You can also use the hashtag AMaGaVic20, or on Twitter. Yes, no, you can just use it on Twitter. I've just read a sentence that didn't exist. I also have to say I had not heard of AMaGA Victoria, and when someone first mentioned AMaGA Victoria, I thought they were talking about some supermodel that I didn't know, or perhaps a perfume, because I think it does go to AMaGA Victoria with just a hint of formaldehyde and some non-acidic archival tissue paper, something like that. Anyway, it's just a little thought. Also, I don't know whether you've realised, but AMaGA Victoria is quite close to MAGA, and I feel like perhaps you could, this is just a marketing idea that you don't have to get on board with, but what about a nice red hat that says AMaGA on it, and it's, Make Australia Gallery Again. Just a thought. You don't have to take that on, but that's for free. So what I would like to do to kick off today is I would like to introduce the Executive Director of the AMaGA Victoria, Sarah Morris.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 2020 Victorian Museums and Galleries Awards. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which I'm joining you here today, the Boonwurrung people of the Kulin Nation, and I pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging, and I would like to extend that respect to the elders of all the lands on which you are joining us here today. As the peak body for Victorian museums and galleries, this is our favourite event of the year, and 2020 being a year like no other with many challenges, there is still so much to celebrate, and we're very much looking forward to acknowledging some of those achievements here this afternoon. Throughout 2020, the AMaGA Victoria team have been very busy. Our museum accreditation team have been conducting a thorough review of the museum accreditation program. Our Victorian collections team have been focusing on a redevelopment of the website. And while we haven't been able to deliver in-person training, our regional digitisation project team, our Veterans Heritage project team, and all of our events have pivoted to online. And we've really enjoyed the additional reach that that platform has been able to achieve. We've also been advocating for our sector this year and have been able to provide some very valuable resources, including the reopening guidelines, and been able to continue engagement with our sector via e-bulletins and also our social media platforms. In addition to celebrating the awards, this is also our opportunity to thank our many wonderful members and collaborators and supporters. And I'd firstly like to thank Danny Pearson, the Minister for Creative Industries, for his support and his participation in this afternoon's event. I'd also like to thank Creative Victoria for their support of our core operations and also Victorian collections, and also their investment and guidance throughout this very challenging year to our sector. I'd also like to thank the R.E. Ross Trust, the Veterans Branch, and also the Public Records Office Victoria for their support delivering some valuable projects and resources for our sector, and also Museums Victoria. We've had the pleasure of collaborating and partnering with their team on the redevelopment of the Victorian Collections website, and we thank them sincerely. And we also value the opportunity that we have to tap into the expertise of their staff with delivery of our programming, and we also have our offices at Melbourne Museum, so thank you to Museums Victoria. I'd also like to thank the awards judges for their expertise and their time in this afternoon's event, and to all of our museum and gallery colleagues who have supported us with our programming this year, and also as part of our expert panels for our various programs. I'd also like to thank our long-term industry partners, Archival Survival and Mel Padgett Designs, and also our education sponsor, Deakin University. I'd also like to thank and acknowledge our branch president, Andrew Hiskins, and all of our board members, and of course our amazing AMaGA Victoria team, Celia, Lana, Cindy, Simone, Caroline, Ash, Amelia, Geraldine, Erin, Maxine, Linda and Mitch. Thank you for everything that you have done this year. You're truly amazing. And on behalf of all the team, I'd like to warmly congratulate all the nominees. We hope you have a lovely afternoon, and we're very much looking forward to getting together in person in the new year. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Sarah. I feel like I should, I want to prove my museum-y kind of abilities to you. So all I know is that I have a friend that's a conservator, and she told me you can get stickers off using a hairdryer. I don't know who I've upset just by saying that, like, no, don't do that, the heat's too much. Anyway, I'm not allowed in the museum. So thank you so much, Sarah, for starting us off. And now I would like to introduce the Minister for Creative Industries, Danny Pearson. Danny, take it away.
Welcome to the 2020 Victorian Museums and Galleries Award. I begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land from which we each gather, and I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. It's a pleasure to be with you virtually for my first Museums and Galleries Awards ceremony as Minister for Creative Industries, and I hope to meet you in person soon. This event celebrates the many organisations that contribute to our dynamic and engaging museums culture here in Victoria. But most importantly, it honours the people who work to make them such a treasured part of Victoria's cultural landscape. This year has not been an easy one, and the impacts on our creative and cultural sector have been great. For organisations who work so hard to welcome visitors, provide engaging experiences, and open up access to collections, having to close your doors to the public was a devastating blow. However, it didn't stop you from connecting with Victorians. Our state's museums and galleries played an important role in getting us through lockdown, providing a range of online experiences, from virtual tours to workshops and kids' activities. At the same time, you've been navigating the uncertainty and challenges of this pandemic and working hard behind the scenes to prepare for a COVID-safe reopening. It's now fantastic to see many of you starting to welcome back visitors. Tonight's event is an opportunity to say thank you on behalf of the government and all Victorians for the work you do in connecting us with the past, telling our stories, fueling our imaginations and inspiring us to dream for the future. I'd also like to recognise AMaGA Victoria for bringing this network together and for the vital role they play in supporting and advocating for excellence in collection care, knowledge and skills. In a year marked by a great challenge for the sector, this support is more vital than ever. The Victorian Government is proud to have supported AMaGA Victoria for almost 3 decades. Their important work includes key initiatives like the Museum Accreditation Program. Now, in its 27th year, the Museum Accreditation Program aims to support organisations in their work to preserve and manage Victoria's collections and enrich community experiences. I'd like to congratulate 3 newly accredited organisations: Daylesford and District Historical Society, Maldon Museum and Archives Association, and National Vietnam Veterans Museum. No doubt you will continue to make a valuable contribution. AMaGA Victoria's work also includes partnering in the development and delivery of Victorian collections, the online portal to our state's cultural treasures. As many of you will know, a major redevelopment of the site has been underway since 2018 to combine and improve upon the earlier Victorian collections and Culture Victoria sites. I'm thrilled to officially launch the new Victorian Collections website that is now live and free for all to use. To date, the site offers a collection treasure trove from more than 700 collecting organisations, access to more than 200,000 collection items, a directory of more than 1,000 collecting organisations, and a growing collection of 50 in-depth collection stories featuring videos, images, education kits and more. And behind the scenes, it is also a collections management system used by hundreds of organisations to catalogue and digitise their collections. This is a huge step forward for the preservation of Victoria's collections and for opening up greater access for all, and one that simply would not have been possible without the support of so many people from across the collection community. Thank you to you all. Finally, thank you to AMaGA Victoria team for rallying to bring us this celebration online, and congratulations to all our nominees.
Now it's time to get started with the awards. So I would like to remind you again, you can show your applause by tweeting with the hashtag AMagaVic20. I also have to point out that as a New Zealander, when I first moved here, I thought Victorian related to an era rather than a state. And so when I saw a sign for the Victorian Nurses Association, I was really confused as to whether they were just nurses that dressed up in old-fashioned clothing. We're not going to make that mistake today. We are starting with the Victorian Collections Awards, so please welcome Julie Cotter, Senior Programs Manager at Creative Victoria.
Good evening. Since 2009, Victorian Collections has provided free, easy-to-use collections management services and training, and served as a gateway to Victoria's cultural treasures. With today's launch of the redeveloped public website, Victorian Collections begins a new chapter in their story. In addition to museums and community organisations, VC now proudly welcomes contributions from galleries, libraries and archives from across the state, engendering a greater understanding and appreciation for Victoria's heritage through access to more diverse collections. Creative Victoria and Museums Victoria are proud partners of AMaGA in delivering Victorian collections. Over the past 12 months, the program delivered 24 workshops for nearly 300 people across 100 organisations. More than 26,000 items have been added to the website, contributing to over 170,000 collection items that are publicly accessible today. This is a great credit to the hardworking and dedicated staff and volunteers working tirelessly across the state. Tonight, we are celebrating the cataloguing achievements of the Victorian Collections community. And so the first award is the Victorian Collections Cataloguing Award for an organisation with paid staff. And the nominees are Churchill Island Heritage Farm, Federation University Australia Historical Collection, Flagstaff Hill Maritime Museum and Village, La Trobe Regional Gallery, Uniting Church Archives. And the winner is Flagstaff Hill Maritime Museum and Village. Congratulations. The highly commended in this category is La Trobe Regional Gallery. Also, congratulations to you. Fantastic effort to both organisations. The second award is the Victorian Collections Cataloguing Award for volunteer-run organisations. And the nominees are Brighton Historical Society, Eltham District Historical Society, Greensborough Historical Society, Tarnagulla History Archive, Thompson's Foundry Band. And the winner is Brighton Historical Society, congratulations. We are very happy to announce that Brighton Historical Society will receive a special prize this evening as a token of appreciation for the hard work and dedication shown by volunteers in the sector. Mel Padgett of Mel Padgett Design has offered to supply a Bright Sign video media player and 3 days of his time to help the Society create a video. Thank you to Mel for this generous prize. The highly commended in this category is Greensborough Historical Society. Congratulations to you as well. Since 2016, Victorian Collections has partnered with Veterans Branch Victorian Government in delivering the Veterans Heritage Project. To date, nearly 20 ex-service organisations have undertaken extensive training in collections management and digitisation to facilitate the preservation of and increase public access to Victoria's war heritage. This brings us to the last award, the Victorian Collections Cataloguing Award for War Heritage Collections, paid or volunteer. And the nominees are 8th, 13th Victorian Mounted Rifles Regimental Collection, Beechworth RSL Sub-Branch, Bendigo Soldiers Memorial Institute Military Museum, Melbourne Legacy, Ringwood RSL Sub-Branch. And the winner is 8th, 13th Victorian Mounted Rifles Regimental Collection. Congratulations. The highly commended in this category is Melbourne Legacy. I would just like to say congratulations to all the winners and best wishes. Thank you.
Congratulations to all our winners and highly commendeds. I do have to say, I noticed the mention of the Maritime Museum. I love a Maritime Museum, but I also love a Marinade Museum, or as my husband calls it, the door of the fridge. We really should do more housework. Now, next up, we have Eleanor Whitworth, who is going to present the inaugural Martin Hallett Award. Eleanor, take it away.
Thank you, Cal. It's an honour and a pleasure to present the inaugural Martin Hallett Award for individual contribution to community heritage. Martin was a Deputy Chief Executive of Museums Victoria, Curator Emeritus and lifelong champion of public museum collections, community engagement and empowerment. He provided much of the early vision and drive for Victorian collections, and, as just an example of his advocacy of the sector, in the early 1980s, whilst serving as the President of the Victorian branch of the Museums Association of Australia, he initiated Victoria's very first Museum of the Year Awards, which subsequently helped to secure funding for what is now AMaGA Victoria. When Martin passed away in 2019, he left an incredible legacy for the Victorian museum and heritage sector. His leadership, reach and impact will be documented and celebrated via a book of essays to be published in 2021. And as an ongoing honour of his legacy, today we present the inaugural Martin Hallett Award for individual contribution to community heritage, recognising and celebrating those who, like Martin, have worked collaboratively to create positive change, empower those around them, and make the shared history of our communities more accessible. The judging process was informed by Martin's values and recognises that the preservation of cultural heritage goes beyond cataloguing to the championing of storytelling and the embrace of cross-pollination between individuals, organisations and regions. We are stronger when we work together. It was through this combination of devoted on-the-ground work, community engagement and sharing of knowledge that led the judges to identify this year's winner as Linda Timon of the Port Fairy Historical Society and Port Fairy Museum and Archives Centre. Linda is a long-standing member of the Victorian collections community. The judges were impressed by her enthusiasm and dedication, exemplified by some very early train rides to attend VC workshops, and her generosity of spirit, demonstrated by her efforts to share her learning with her community and cataloguers from neighbouring organisations. Like Martin, Linda recognised the potential of storytelling and digital formats as a mechanism to share collections. Just one example of this is that in 2016, she curated the very first Victorian collection story, SS Casino. You should go and take a look. It gives us great pleasure to present the inaugural Martin Hallett Award to Linda. Congratulations, and we look forward to seeing your next endeavours. Thank you.
I'd like to thank all the members who have put me up for this award. My passion is for our history, and since discovering Victorian collections, I've had the time to devote to adding to this rich collection. Having worked in the museum sector for some 26 years now as curator and as collection manager, I'm grateful for all the friendships I've made through the sector, and I've enjoyed working with our collection and on exhibitions.
Congratulations, Linda. Lots of tweets coming through of congratulations for Linda, and also lots of fond thoughts of Martin Hallett as well. Also, I learned just then a new phrase which I had not heard before, curator emeritus, which if you just said that to me, I would go, is that a character from Star Wars? No, just an amazing job to have. Now, our next guest, I'm excited about Maggie Solly. She's not only the MAT Advisory Chair who's going to be announcing 3 newly accredited museums, she is also the muse for Fra Angelico's famous painting, The Adoration of the Maggie. So that's very exciting. I'm very happy about that joke. I don't care how you feel. I do. I would now like to introduce Maggie Solly. Take it away, Maggie.
Good afternoon. As Chair of the Museum's Accreditation Advisory Committee, it's my great pleasure to introduce 3 newly accredited museums for 2020. For participants, accreditation brings a sense of accomplishment and a sense of pride. It also, for many, brings a huge sigh of relief on completion. Seriously, accreditation in this sector, as in many others, provides recognition, status, respect and credibility, validating teams, collections and museums practice. A special thank you for our funders, Creative Victoria, and for the second time, the R.E. Ross Trust. The Trust's support has enabled the development of an exciting new online portal, and with recently secured additional funding from Creative Victoria, this project will be completed and launched in 2021. Thanks also to the MAP managers Caroline Wall and Simone Ewanson, without whom none of this is possible. And finally, thanks to the volunteer members of the Advisory Committee for their enthusiasm and sharing of immense expertise. Congratulations to Daylesford and District Historical Society. 100% volunteer-run museum, the Society has evolved since its establishment in 1964 into an inclusive and welcoming museum which proudly represents its diverse community through an exciting exhibition programme which successfully brings together heritage and contemporary life, creating rich visitor experiences. The accreditation panel was impressed with the volunteers' determination to operate a professional organisation with a strong focus on continual improvement, well-developed skills in collection care and preservation, and engagement with the local community. Commenting, the panel said the new displays of the Jaja Warung cultural heritage has real depth and was multi-layered in presenting both a deep reflection of complex issues and celebration of Aboriginal peoples and culture. Barry Files will accept the Accreditation Award on behalf of Daylesford and District Historical Society.
We are absolutely thrilled with this achievement. It represents many years of hard work by a dedicated band of volunteers. It truly was a team effort. We would also like to acknowledge the many past members whose contributions helped lay the groundwork. Although the MAP workbook looked a daunting task, we divided the components up and held regular meetings to check on progress. We were advised it would take 3 years to complete, and it did. But now we can look back with satisfaction and feel confident that we are worthy custodians of a local history community asset. Our thanks to Caroline, Simone and the MAP team for their support and encouragement.
Congratulations, Maldon Museum and Archives Association. Housed in the original 1859 Market Hall building in the historic town of Maldon, the association provides a variety of rich experiences for researchers and visitors to the area. Managed by volunteers, the association has created delightful thematic exhibitions with the experience enhanced by multimedia presentations. They also created the walking tour app Maldon Rediscovered, allowing visitors to explore the town's stunning historic 19th and early 20th century buildings and streetscapes. The accreditation panel was impressed with the organisation's care and interpretation of the collection, including in-depth knowledge and practice in environmental monitoring and a full suite of comprehensive and informed management policies. Let's hear a few words from Jan Warrack, outgoing president of Maldon Museum and Archives Association.
In 1966, the National Trust classified Maldon as Australia's first notable town, and the state government suggested rural communities establish museums as tourist attractions. Unsurprisingly, a call went out for old stuff for Maldon's new museum. In 1984, museum experts described our collection as valuable and interesting, and our museum and its processes as poor. Challenging times indeed. In recent years, we have been actively addressing these issues through the accreditation program. Our accreditation journey was thought-provoking and revealed much about the importance of our collections, our peoples, and our place in the community. The program is helping us to more fully understand what we do, how and why we do it, and the benefits of meeting standards. Sincerest thanks to all our volunteers, supporters and donors for their contributions. Thank you also to our local council for their ongoing support, especially in improving our accommodation. And lastly, very special thanks to our MAP team for getting the job done.
Congratulations, National Vietnam Veterans Museum. The museum has unique beginnings, initially being conceived by John and Krishna Methven as a travelling mobile museum trailer which toured Australia in an effort to reach out to soldiers and to promote a broader understanding of the Vietnam War. Remaining true to this vision, the museum has continued to support servicemen, women and their families by interpreting the enduring impact of the war on society. Staff and volunteers are dedicated to creating informative and engaging visitor experiences based on the extensive collection now under their care. The accreditation panel was impressed with the range of activities carried out as part of the broader community and continued commitment to servicemen, women and their families, in particular the creation of a commemorative garden space for remembrance and contemplation. Phil Dressing, General Manager at National Vietnam Veterans Museum, will accept the accreditation award on behalf of the organisation.
When appointed to the position of General Manager of our National Vietnam Veterans Museum in November 2016, I became acutely aware of two things. Firstly, our museum was only 20 years old, bearing in mind the Vietnam War finished in 1972. Secondly, our museum management had previously intimated a desire to become an accredited museum, and to achieve the latter, we had to provide evidence that we were meeting the national standards for Australian galleries and museums. From humble beginnings, we now have over 40,000 items housed in a second-hand Bellman aircraft hangar. Not the ideal structure to conserve, restore and exhibit a globally unique Vietnam War-era collection. With such a rapid growth, meeting standards 20 years later was going to take a great deal of work by a large number of people. Lastly, I'd like to thank all our volunteers who over the last 7 years have contributed significantly to this achievement. Without them, our museum would simply not exist.
Still excited to be here. While you were watching that, we had an outbreak of children. It was amazing. Things are just going crazy. We are moving on now to the Deakin University, which is a university and not a guy called Deakin University, as I first read it, who will be presenting the Rosalind Laurie Award.
Hello, my name is Billy Griffiths, and it is my pleasure to represent the 2019 Rosalind Laurie Award Committee. Each year, Deakin University presents an award for excellence in our cultural heritage and museum studies courses. The award is named in memory of Ms. Rosalind Laurie, the student who achieved the highest academic results in the 10-year history of the course through to 1989, when the award was first granted. In the all too short time during which she contributed to the museum profession, Rosalind Laurie epitomised the commitment to standards of excellence in cultural heritage and museum studies. In that spirit of excellence, each year, the committee awards $1,000 and the Rosalind Laurie Award title to a Deakin University student. There were 6 finalists this year, all of whom are very impressive individuals. They are Teresa Archer, Jack Bell, Justin Croft, Natasha Haysom, Lauren McAllery, and Claudia Vonderborch. Without further ado, I will pass over to Mrs. Faye Laurie, Rosalind's mother, to announce the winner of the 2019 Rosalind Laurie Award.
Thank you, Billy. Now it's my privilege and pleasure to announce the winner of the Rosalind Laurie Award for Excellence 2019. However, before this, I'd like to thank and congratulate the finalists for their excellent submissions for consideration in this award. These candidates revealed amazing commitment, achievements and passion for their chosen careers. I wish them all the best in the years ahead. Now for the winner of this year's Rosalind Laurie Award for 2019, and I congratulate Justin Croft. Well done, Justin. You are a most worthy recipient and warm best wishes for your future career. All the best.
Thank you, Mrs. Laurie. I'm humbled, but at the same time incredibly proud to accept this award and to join past recipients who I've long admired. I'd also like to give a salute to all this year's nominees. A very special thanks to the Deakin University Museum Studies teaching staff and the award committee for selecting me. And of course, thank you to my family and friends for always supporting me. I can safely say that I never thought I'd be standing here and receiving this award when I commenced my master's degree in July 2016, a decision that has truly changed the direction of my life. And to the colleagues at the many different museums and heritage organisations I have worked and volunteered at, thanks for helping me with the ongoing process of maintaining and developing my knowledge in museum practice. In conclusion, I understand this award is not only a recognition of my past work, but rather an encouragement towards making museums more exciting.
Now, we've all realised by this stage that I cannot be trusted to do this on my own. So they've brought a grown-up in, and it is my pleasure to introduce you to the AMaGA Victoria Branch President on his first official duty. Would you please welcome Andrew Hiskins? Hello.
Thank you, Cal. And yes, and look, and as President, my question really is does that actually make this an inauguration? Because in the spirit of AMaGA or MAGA, perhaps I should be claiming the 1.5 million viewers of this live stream, regardless of what the fake news says.
And it means that also when this live stream has finished, you'll refuse to go.
Absolutely.
You just be like, no, it hasn't ended.
I'm just staying on.
It has not ended. You'll just do what you like. Now, Andrew, I love an awards ceremony.
Yep.
I love a trophy. We can't do, handing over people in person. We've got certificates for everyone. But I thought I wanted to give it as much as a live ceremony as possible. So I've found a whole bunch of trophies from around my house, and I'm going to symbolically award these trophies to all of our winners from now on. So, the Frankston and District Basketball Association Winter Season 2000 Most Valuable Player Tuesday A Reserve Men Award could be coming for you. So, shall we start and get into the awards, or should we just gaze at this for a bit longer?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get into the individual awards, starting off with the AMaGA Victoria Award for Excellence Volunteer.
Thanks, Cal. So the judges were impressed by this individual's dedication to research as a volunteer and commended his ongoing commitment and dedication to researching the topic of Chinese Anzacs. The judges commented that it is clear that his 10 years of volunteering at the Chinese Museum, he has gone over and above with his work on researching unrecognised Chinese Australian servicemen and women. And the winner is
Edmund Chew, Museum of Chinese Australian History.
Thank you to the Australian Museum and Gallery Association Victoria and the judges for this volunteer award, which in effect honours the many loyal Chinese Australians who serve in both wars. In accepting this award, I would like to thank my wife Bronwyn for her support. She herself has a long and meritorious record of quiet volunteer work in the community and sets an example for me to follow. To the Chinese Museum, thank you for your generous gift of the opportunity to undertake 10 years of most satisfying volunteer work to enhance my retirement, and for your generous nomination. To the very supportive staff, ably led by Mark Wang, and my fellow volunteers of the museum, your unstinting assistance and guidance over these years have helped me in many ways. I acknowledge the direction and advice by the three curators of our museum, Dr. Sophie Couchman, Joyce Agee, and Ethel Villafranca.
The judges also presented a highly commended to Dell Atkinson, Linton and District Historical Society and Dorothy Morgan the Johnson Collection. So congratulations, this is symbolically coming to you all.
Next up, the AMaGA Victoria Award for Excellence, Paid Staff.
The judges commended this individual's innovative way of sharing the history of Beechworth Historic Courthouse. The judges felt that he really brought the history to life in an animated, engaging and performative manner that made them want to visit for themselves. They acknowledged his diverse skill set, ongoing dedication and passion for research and photography as a true asset to any organisation. And the winner is...
Michael Beattie, Indigo Shire Council.
G'day folks. I must say I'm rather chuffed and humbled to be accepting this award. There are so many people I should thank, most of all my late wife Julie. Without her words of encouragement and support, it never would have been possible. Julie was my driving force, and I know she would be overjoyed to know about this award. I've had the privilege to have worked with some stellar people in my 13 years in the Beechworth Historic Courthouse and Burke Museum. Bob Simpson, Daniel Goonan, Leo Neddy, Sean Pieper, Beryl Witowski, Grant Colley, Patrick Watt, Cameron Audie and so many more. The old courthouse was a unique place to work. So much history. So many stories of Ned Kelly and his cohorts. I miss it since leaving to start a new life here in Queensland. I'm at Harvey Bay right now, as you can see, right by the sea. Very different to the honey-coloured granite of the Beechworth Courthouse. In closing, I would like to thank everyone for their help and support over the years, and thank you to AMaGA for this award. See you later.
The highly commended in this category was Jennifer Levitt Maxwell, Jewish Holocaust Centre. I'd now like to introduce the Lifetime Achievement Awards. And yes, that is awards plural. Like most things in 2020, the nominations for the Lifetime Achievement Awards were unprecedented. This year, we're thrilled to be welcoming 4 colleagues to a very special alumni. In no particular order, except alphabetical, our first recipient is Lisa Dale. Lisa has had a career spanning 33 years with Museums Victoria. She had significant and wide-reaching impact both within the museum and more broadly throughout the wider community, specialising in the history of agriculture and gender in Australia and pursuing her deep interest in contemporary issues that link city and regional communities. Lisa was responsible for developing a wide range of innovative collections, including the Victorian Women on Farms Gathering Collection, the H.V. Mackay Collection, Water Smart Home Collection, the Victorian Bushfires Collection, and more recently, the Invisible Farmer Project Collection. These collections all pushed the boundaries of curatorial practice and led to new understandings about contemporary collecting and community engagement methodology. Over her 33 years with Museums Victoria, Lisa's role covered a wide range of areas: research, policy development, heritage assessment and acquisition, community engagement, education and public programs, exhibition development, web development, publication, multimedia development, breadth, collection management and documentation, management of volunteers and staff, sponsorship and fundraising, public promotions and publicity. Her deep commitment to the museum sector has left a lasting legacy at Museums Victoria.
Great pleasure to let you know that you have been awarded the AMaGA Victoria's Lifetime Achievement Award. Lisa Dale Howard!
Wow. Wow. Hello there. I'm sorry I can't be with you in real time to celebrate the achievements of the Victorian museums and gallery sector. I'm deeply honoured to accept this award, and I do so on behalf of all of my community collaborators and co-curators across Victoria. I especially want to acknowledge and celebrate the leadership, knowledge, and tenacity of the rural women whom I've worked with so closely over many of these years and many different projects. I'd also like to thank Museums Victoria and my colleagues in the Society and Technology Department for their support and for their acknowledgement of my work. Thank you, AMaGA, for your support of rural Victorians and for assisting them in documenting their stories. I'd like to dedicate this award to my late husband, Martin Hallett, who shared and supported my many professional passions. Thank you all. Good night.
Secondly, we have Harriet Edquist. Harriet is a professor of architectural history in the School of Architecture and Design at RMIT. She's published widely on and curated numerous exhibitions in the field of Australian, in particular Victorian, architecture, art and design history, at venues including the National Gallery of Victoria, State Library Victoria, Bendigo Art Gallery, Jewish Museum of Australia, Heide Museum of Modern Art, the Australian Centre of Contemporary Art and RMIT Gallery. Harriet was instrumental in establishing the RMIT Design Archives, built on her vision to not only acquire and preserve Melbourne's architectural and design history, but also sharing this important cultural and creative resource with students, researchers and contemporary designers. As director of the RMIT Design Archives from 2007 to 2019, Harriet has sought to professionalise and provide leadership in the management of the university's collections, including the commissioning of a purpose-built archives building and store. Additionally, she has contributed to the production of Australian architectural knowledge as founder and editor of the RMIT Design Archives Journal. The RMIT Design Archives is testament to her tenacity, leadership and vision.
You have received a Lifetime Achievement Award in recognition of your fantastic work through the cultural sector of Victoria.
Oh, and so I didn't even know they existed, so that's lovely.
I'm honoured to accept the Victorian Museum Galleries Awards Lifetime Achievement Award. I've been fortunate that during my career I've been able to contribute to the GLAM sector in two ways. Firstly, through my work at the Victorian RMIT Design Archives, and secondly, through collaborations with museum professionals to produce exhibitions on architecture and design. It's always been my ambition to share my enthusiasm for Australian design with the broader community, and I thank my many colleagues over the years who have helped me achieve the same.
Up next, Peter Hoban. Pete has recently retired after 27 years at Sovereign Hill Education. For the last 15 years, he shared the role of team leader, during which he drove a threefold increase in student visitor numbers. He was instrumental to the development and success of one of Sovereign Hill's most popular programs, Gold Fever, and also led the establishment of education programs at Sovereign Hill's agricultural property, Nambour. Always looking to share his passion, knowledge and skills with the classroom teachers as well as the broader museum and gallery education sector. He led the development of multiple teacher professional development programs. Pete has been on the ENVI, that is the Education Network Victoria, committee for over 15 years, establishing it as one of the most active networks in the sector, serving as treasurer for many of those years and then president until early 2020. He also served on the national network. Peter continually strived to bring the education programs at Sovereign Hill to the cutting edge of learning, pedagogy and curriculum development. Pete's commitment to research and evaluation resulted in programs, resources and staff interactions that were meaningful, responsive and continually improving.
So I've been chatting to a few other people this week and they've been really interested in the research project and what we've been doing. But the thing that we've been researching might come as a surprise to you. because we've been researching you. Envy and some people at Sovereign Hill have all put together and nominated you for a Lifetime Achievement Award with AMaGA. And yeah,
I'm
fair
really
income.
embarrassed about this, you know. Thank you so much for this award. I'm honoured, surprised and completely humbled by it. I've loved being an educator at Sovereign Hill and being involved in museum education networks. It's provided me with a wide group of wonderful friends and like-minded colleagues who have entertained, supported and inspired me for 27 years. I'd like to thank AMaGA Vic for offering this award. The work you do for museums is terribly important. But particularly I wish to thank those colleagues who nominated me and those who put up with me for so long. Your support, thoughtfulness and generosity is incredibly touching and makes this award very, very special for me. Thank you so much.
Finally, we have Jean McAuslan. Jean joined the Shrine of Remembrance in 2003 after 20 years at the Australian War Memorial. At the Shrine, Jean assumed the role of Gallery Development Manager during the construction phase of Stage 1 of the Visitor Centre. In 2012, Jean helped to secure funding for the completion of Stage 2 of the Shrine of Remembrance redevelopment, the $45 million Galleries of Remembrance project. In addition to acting as lead curator for the First World War Gallery, Jean provided direction to the curators during the Second World War and post-1944 conflicts and peacekeeping galleries. Jean was keen to push beyond traditional perceptions of military history, curating groundbreaking exhibitions exploring art, women's roles, peace and Indigenous participation in Australia's Defence Forces. Of particular note are the award-winning Indigenous Australians at War, from the Boer War to the present, and her final exhibition, Changed Forever, Legacies of Conflict, which brought together the stories of Australian veterans with migrants who have come to Australia seeking shelter from war-torn parts of the world to illustrate the shared aftermath of conflict and the shared hopes for peace. Jean helped establish the Shrine of Remembrance as a centre of education and learning, a venue where veterans could share stories and the wider Victorian community. Jean's legacy and vision for the Galleries of Remembrance help engage over 1 million visitors a year with the Shrine of Remembrance.
You might not be aware, but we nominated you for a Lifetime Achievement Award with AMaGA.
Oh, wow.
And in fact, AMaGA agree with us, and you are going to get a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yay! That's fantastic.
I'm delighted to be alongside Harriet, Peter and Lisa to receive this award. I would like to thank my former team at the Shrine of Remembrance for nominating me and to say how much we achieved together. I learnt my profession from some of the best, and over the years I've worked with many great professionals, both within the Australian War Memorial and the Shrine of Remembrance and beyond. My work has taken me into many and varied communities, and I have loved telling their stories. Thank you to the Australian Museums and Galleries Association for your continuing work in setting and upholding the highest standards in our sector, and thank you for honouring me with this award.
Congratulations to all of our Lifetime Achievement Award winners, and we'd like to acknowledge their significant contribution. And in light of that, I would like you all to share symbolically in this Taylors Lakes Basketball Club Participation Award, Boys Under 12 Summer 2018 Award. I know that will mean a lot to all of you. Lots of congratulations coming through on Twitter for all of our award winners. And now we have a message from Archival Survival, a generous long-time supporter of the AMaGA Victoria Awards.
On behalf of Archival Survival, I'd like to thank AMaGA Vic for once again giving us the opportunity to sponsor the Archival Survival Award for small museums and galleries and the Archival Survival Award for volunteer-run museums and galleries. We'd like to thank all of the nominees for their fantastic efforts in such a challenging year. We hope that each prize of $1,000 of archival materials will be a welcome boost to the preservation budgets to the respective winners. Thank you once again, and we wish all the very best of luck to the nominees. Thank you.
So first up, the Archival Survival Award for volunteer-run organisations with up to 1 EFT paid staff. I'm assuming EFT stands for Extremely Fascinating Treasure. The nominees for this are the Euripides Historical Society Incorporated for their digitisation project. A massive thank you to Andrew for letting me not call it the Arapiles Historical Society. Please forgive my ignorance. The AFI Research Collection for their virtual and digital adaptation. The Coburg Historical Society for their social media project. And Her Place Women's Museum Australia and the Women's Mural Documentation Project for reimagining the women's mural, and the Kiewa Valley Historical Society for the power of water. The judges acknowledged the winning project as an important piece of the second wave feminist history, which can now be remembered in perpetuity, noting the importance of digitisation projects to capture public artworks and their stories. They commended the central role that oral histories played in bringing the artwork history to life and capturing the spirit of the time that they were made in. The digital mural preserves important historical documents, images, music, and the stories that are so often lost to future generations, particularly women's stories. The winner is
Her Place Women's Museum Australia and the Women's Mural Documentation Project for reimagining the women's mural.
Her Place Women's Museum Australia and the Women's Mural Documentation Project are honoured to accept this award. We acknowledge and pay respect to the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation as the traditional custodians of the land on which the mural was created. Now that the mural no longer stands, we are proud to have preserved in digital tour the cultural significance of this artwork and to have documented the incredible stories that are woven across its 3-decade history. The project was a true collaborative effort that would not have existed without the two artists who created the original mural back in 1986, Eve Glenn and Megan Evans. Thank you both for your generosity in allowing us to document your artwork for future generations to be inspired by your work. We would also like to thank Digital Heritage Australia and Scott Heinrich Audio, as well as those who dedicated their time and images to the project. As Eve Glenn said, never underestimate the power of women's persistence when they work together, and this project bears testament to that. Thank you so much.
The judges awarded a highly commended to the Australian Film Institute Research Collection for their virtual and digital adaptation. To the nominees of the Archival Survival Award for Small Museums and Galleries. Nominees are Coal Creek Community Park and Museum for a new way of learning about the past, virtual school lessons from the 1890s. Duldig Studio for Laugh But Don't Forget, celebration of the 80th anniversary of the arrival of Queen Mary in Australia. RMIT Culture for RMIT Culture Collections Engagement Program. The Johnson Collection for Janet Lawrence, The Palm at the End of the Mind. The Johnson Collection for pivoting programming in response to COVID-19, and Yarra Ranges Regional Museum for My Home, an interactive e-book. The judges were impressed by the winning project for engaging with and sharing their collection in a new, innovative and creative way. They commended the organisation for engaging local artists, upskilling staff and producing an accessible resource available to a broad audience. The judges thought the project creatively transferred a child's museum experience to the home environment through incorporating a mix of formats, both self-guided and parent-led. And the winner is
Yarra Ranges Regional Museum My Home interactive ebook.
Patrick, what are you doing?
Lynette, I'm pivoting because at the Yarra Ranges Regional Museum, that's what we're good at, pivoting. In fact, we did it for the last school holidays. How did we do it?
We created My Home Yarra Ranges, an interactive ebook. We featured artist work, graphic designers, and a fantastic tech from the council's team to create a wonderful interactive book for children.
And it connects with the collection, and it's totally a book for museums and people that love pivoting and connecting. And for the award, we are truly thank you. Thanks everyone out there. Thank you very much.
The judges awarded a highly commended to the Johnson collection, Janet Lawrence, The Palm at the End of the Mind. So I would like to award to you the Edith Vale Lifesaving Club 1988-1989 award. Now moving on to the AMaGA Victoria Award for Media Museums and Galleries. And the nominees are Arts Centre Melbourne for the Opera Australia Documentation Project, Australian Sports Museum for the Australian Sports Museum Refresh, Burke Museum for Museum Adaptation, Renovations, Storage, Upgrade and Free Telegrams Program, Jewish Holocaust Centre for Ask a Survivor, Jewish Holocaust Centre Understanding Through Testimony, Jewish Holocaust Centre Transition to Virtual Learning, Jewish Museum and Islamic Museum for Museums Together, Shrine of Remembrance for their commemorative program during COVID-19. The judges found the winning entry to be a significant project that was delivered respectfully and with integrity. They acknowledged the importance of capturing survivor testimony and future-proofing narratives for generations to come, and were impressed with the good use of technology, high level of execution and ease of navigation of the website. And the winner is
Jewish Holocaust Centre, Ask a Survivor.
Thank you to the Australian Museums and Galleries Association of Victoria. We are so thrilled and honoured to have won this award. Thank you to our incredible survivors. Thank you to an incredible team at the Jewish Holocaust Centre that delivered this project in less than 5 weeks on a minimal budget. It is our passion to connect students and survivors now and into the future. And now I'd love to share with you a message from one of the survivors featured in this program.
To survive, you have to believe in a better tomorrow. If you did not believe in a better tomorrow, the better tomorrow will never come.
Highly commended, Jewish Museum and Islamic Museum, Museums Together. The final award for today is the AMaGA Victoria Award for Large Museums and Galleries. Nominees include Museums Victoria for Collecting the Curve, Museums Victoria for Learning Lab, Museums Victoria for Museum at Home, and State Library Victoria for Think Tank projects. The judges commended this organisation for their rapid response to the COVID-19 crisis via their impressive and innovative online experience. The judges were impressed by the depth and reach of the program, its playful delivery and engagement of diverse audiences. The judges commented that the project provided families and children with outstanding, engaging and educational content during a challenging time. And the winner is
Museums Victoria, Museum at Home.
Hello everyone, I'm joining you from one of Museums Victoria's most treasured objects, Pendle Hall. Pendle Hall is a 4-storey, 21-room doll's house. I'm in Pendle Hall's dining room, and haven't we all spent a lot of time in our dining rooms as we've worked and studied from home during lockdown? As soon as we closed in March, we went to work on Museum at Home so that we could continue to reach our audiences and be part of their digital lives. It's been an incredible team effort, and I'm delighted to accept this award on behalf of Museums Victoria as a tribute to the amazing staff who have been open to new ways of working and committed to connecting with our visitors virtually as well as physically. I'd also like to pay tribute to AMaGA Victoria and all of you watching. Every one of us deserves accolades for the way we've navigated 2020, and we at Museums Victoria value the role this sector is playing in Victoria's recovery and cohesion. So all the best for 2021. And if I don't see you at the museum online, I might see you in Pendle Hall, that's on display here at Melbourne Museum.
Well, congratulations, Museums Victoria. You have won the Deer Park Football Club Under-10's 2019 Most Improved Award. And that brings us to the end of the awards today. Congratulations to all of our nominees and winners. Andrew, what a pleasure to share a space with a live human being. I've just had such a nice time talking to someone I'm not married to. It's very exciting. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, the feeling is mutual, Cal. Finally, from all of us, it is really a huge thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll do one more in 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I would like to thank my wife, Bronwyn.
And I'd firstly like to thank Danny Pearson, the Minister for Creative Industries.
Thank you to AMaGA Victoria team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sincerest thanks.
I would like to thank everyone for their help and support over the years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to AMaGA.
Thank you.
Very special thanks.
Thank you.
Very special thanks.
A special thank you.
Thank you to my family and friends for always supporting me.
I'd like to thank all our volunteers.
So all the best for 2021.
Thank you, Cal. And we thank them sincerely.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Good night.
Thanks everyone out there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.